Alright, so this is the Rekon FPV Y6. So you can see it's a Y6 format. It has 6 motors, 6 props in this sort of setup here. And I'm not gonna really go into like in terms of what a Y design is and all that kind of stuff. Didn't really have a whole lot of flight time with this one. In fact, I've had this for a few months now, actually. And I only got like 1.25 flights in. I have one flight that I can show you where everything went okay. I can kind of give you my initial impressions on how it flies. I got about 1/4 of a flight in on the second flight, and I had not really a crash, but kind of a hard sort of bounce off the ground. And apparently that was enough to not record anything. So I lost the recording, and the 6-in-1, I guess they call it, like there's basically 6 ESCs on this all-in-one board on here. This does not turn on anymore, so somehow I managed to kill it. Reviewer's curse, I guess. I tend to do that, but the reason you're seeing this video now instead of 3 months ago is I initially reached out to HGLRC, who makes this model. They're very hard to contact. Well, they were very hard to contact before they sent this to me, because I think I was like maybe the second or third round of reviewers to get this. And I did contact them and said, hey, I think I killed the all-in-one board on a hard bounce off the ground, and I just, I was like, oh, I'll just fix it, right? I wanted to finish the review. Sent them several emails over the course of, I don't know, last 3 months or so. I decided I'm not going to do this anymore. Gave up. And I'm just going to put the video out as is. I have one full, complete flight. I can tell you how it felt, how it compares to a 5-inch. But don't consider this a full review because it really is not enough flights, not enough batteries. You put the battery here on the bottom. It runs on 6S, has 2004, I think these are 1800 kV motors, and you're running these Gem Fan. I think these are the Hurricane 5-inch props, and there you can see that they're ones with the 2 screws on the top. So, you have basically a small-ish quad with 6 motors and 6 props. And I think the number one takeaway on this model, which I kind of would say is a design looking for a purpose, is what I would call it. I'm not exactly sure who this is for. I think this is going to be a good chase quad. Like, I guess I can't call it a quad, a chase hex, a chase drone. So the big takeaway, the thing I noticed is that for straight line speeds, what I call cruising speed, is at a much lower throttle point on this design compared to a quadcopter. We have 4 motors and 4 props. So obviously you're getting the additional thrust from 2 additional motors overall. However, this is only if you're mainly going in sort of longish straight lines. If you're doing a lot of turning and sort of agility type maneuvers, I don't think this design is really good for that. It's not suited for that. I just noticed that the yaw authority was kind of weird. Now, obviously, this could be because I'm just not used to flying a Y6, but because you have 4 motors in the front and only 2 in the back, rotating this drone on the Z-axis, this would be the yaw, or the yaw axis, has a very unique feel to it. It seems sluggish and then accelerates very quickly. So maybe it could be managed with some expo and just basically a lot of practice. I didn't find it particularly easy to fly compared to a quadcopter in terms of maneuverability. But I think the advantage of this design is that if you are mainly going in straight lines, maybe chasing like a car or something on like a track, like an oval track where you're just kind of going around in an oval, this will probably be more efficient in terms of your cruising speed. You're going to be going, so say for example, when I say cruising speed, basically it's like you're in the 20% throttle range where it's just maintaining its speed, neither accelerating or slowing down. And you're doing that at a lower throttle range so that your overall amperage or your amp draw is going to be lower. And I think that's going to make you more efficient overall. So if you need to be out there for longer stretches of chasing a car, for example, then I think this might be optimal for that compared to a quadcopter. But again, this is just based on very little flight time, just some of my perceptions on what I think this would be good for. If you feel like there's other applications that I am completely overlooking, feel free to let me know in the comments below. A couple things to note. This battery plate here, of course, is for landing, and these little thin, I guess, legs stick out. There's some TPU parts here on the end to protect it, so you can land on this, and obviously it's to give stability on takeoffs and landings, but this is going to snap off in a crash if you happen to hit the ground really hard. I didn't obviously hit that hard enough to break this, then you're going to probably snap it off. It would have been nice to have a spare. This one, that's not provided. You only have so much battery space available to you between the XT60 connector here in the back, and see the battery pad here, and then in the front here you have this Express LRS transmit, or the receiver antennas in the front here. That's going to block you here, so you have that much space right here for a battery, so keep that in mind. O3 air units here, you got your camera in here. I didn't see any props in view in the DVR. I think if you go 4x3, it might show up, possibly. I didn't test that. GPS here, I didn't test return to home, obviously. You got a GoPro mount on top, and you have these two long antennas here in the top here as well. So if you're going long range, maybe this could be good for like long range flights where you're going kind of far away on a where did I fly this with? I think it was a 6S 14 or 1500 battery, so you could probably maybe go to the 6S 1800 as long as it fits in that space. Probably get some pretty good flight times as long as you're not too aggressive on the throttle, which you don't need to be. You can go pretty fast in this one without going too crazy on the throttle. That's assuming you don't kill the one board here. It's a big board. Obviously, you got the flight controller on there. You have 6 ESCs. I don't remember the spec rating of those. I'll put it up here on the screen. Or you can just click on the product link and check it out. But in terms of frame design, it's very robust. I think it's pretty solid. Dave C, FPV, he makes good designs. I mean, obviously he doesn't just put anything out there without testing it. So you got some thick arms here. You have all this stuff here with these extra screws. So you can mount, 2 motors, one up, properly upright, and then one inverted. And you have that on this arm as well, and the back arm as well. So obviously, he has some well-tested designs. I think you'll be fine in any type of a crash, unless it's really severe. Like I said, I bounced off the ground. I hit it pretty much flat, and it's because I was not really well, how do you say it, practiced. Obviously, with only one flight under the belt, I had yawed too quickly, and it dropped altitude very quickly, and I was already too low to the ground to do that maneuver. If I had done that with a quadcopter, I would have been fine, because the throttle I could have throttled up quick enough to do that. I didn't realize, because this is kind of on the heavier side compared to a quadcopter with 4 motors. It dropped a lot faster than expected. I just bounced off the ground, and at that point I just lost video right away. And of course now here we are. So would I recommend this for a quadcopter pilot as like a replacement? Probably not. Like I said, I think this is a design looking for a purpose. I don't know exactly what those specific applications would be best for this particular design. I'm sure there's plenty of specific examples out there. And again, if I'm overlooking something really obvious, do let me know down in the comments. But I think that's going to cover for this video. Unfortunately, I can't show you more flight footage. I was considering maybe buying a replacement board, but I don't think I'm going to be flying this again. If you want to see a lot more content, maybe I will just go ahead and buy a new one of these. I think they're like about $100, something like that, and do the whole replacement. Again, it's going to depend on how much interest there is. I don't expect there to be that much, but if there's lots of people down in the comments screaming, yelling, they absolutely must have more content on this model, by all means, let me know, and I will try and accommodate that in the future. But of course, if you're not really that interested, do let me know that as well. It's good to have both sides of the feedback story, and I'll take all that into account. But You saw the flight footage here. It's the DVR footage I have from that one flight. That's about it. Unfortunately, HGLRC, I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe they got, I think what probably happened is the person that was my contact probably left the company, either quit or was fired. And they don't do a very good job of like transitioning from one employee to another in terms of like who their contacts are. And I'm pretty sure all my emails just went down a black hole. Never heard back from them. And I think there's been some new models that have come out and some other products that have come from HGLRC. I haven't really been tracking them that much because they don't really make too much stuff. I think it's possible that since this Rekon Y6 came out, there's been some other HGLRC products that I have no idea. I obviously don't have them, so I can't make a video about them. I'm sure other reviewers have gotten those, and I just haven't, you're not going to probably see any more HGLRC stuff on my channels anymore. That's unfortunate. They had a good run, but I think there's going to be some, like I said, I think overall there's going to be some consolidation in this sort of space, in this market. There's going to be some winners, and there's going to be people that are going to be gone pretty soon. There's actually several companies that I think are teetering on the cliff and about to go over. I'm not going to name any names. I'm going to piss off some people, I'm sure. I'm sure you guys are well aware who those companies are, and if you aren't, you should probably do some homework and figure out who those companies are so you don't buy stuff from them, because you're probably not going to get any support from them in the future. So leave it at that. That's the end of this video. Got any questions, comments, etc., leave them down in the comment section below. Talk to you guys in the next one.